Smell kind of good, almost like leather. Yo, what's good guys? My name is Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look interview on these bad boys right here. This is the Air Jordan 1 Mid SE, one of two colorways that are representative of the Air Jordan 11, this one being the Space Jam. There's a low top that is actually based off of the Concords. Will we get one that's based off the black and reds and the Columbias? Probably not, but we'll see. Just in case you guys are wondering, they come in a basic Wings logo box. So this stuff right here is typically what we see the Air Jordan 1 Low, not the OG, just the Low, and the Air Jordan 1 Mid drop in. Sometimes they come in just the black with the gold Jumpman on there. Maybe this is for the SEs. It's not confusing at all. And on top of that, we are actually going to give these away. Our giveaways are for Discord members exclusively. Those people are here for us every single month. They support us no matter what. They watch every single video, they like, they comment, obviously they're subscribed. And so when you support us on that level, we're gonna support you right back. So with that being said, these guys feature the same exact traction as every single Air Jordan 1. It's the greatest traction of all time. Traction's so good, it'll pop your hip out. Trust me, I know. They still have the traditional Air Jordan 1 outsole, but it is done up in Air Jordan 11 fashion. So we've got a clear outsole, tinted blue. This is not me complaining, this is just saying like, hey, that would have been dope if they did the Nike branding and the pivot point in purple.
Or it would have just been cool if they tinted the outsole purple.
I was thinking about that originally, but the Air Jordan 11 outsole is not tinted purple.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna have that splash of purple on the tongue, why don't you tie it in with...
That's what I mean by putting it on the branding and the pivot point, because then you kind of allude to the herringbone traction pods on the original Air Jordan 11 without having to do a full-on purple sole. So you still get that clear look with a little bit of color, you know what I mean?
Well, and then that way maybe they wouldn't yellow.
If these were purple tinted, then no, they wouldn't yellow. So I just got those original Jordan 11s, still red.
I'm just killing so many birds with this one stone.
What do you mean?
Just make it purple.
No. No, if you're gonna pay tribute, do it right. Don't change. When they come out with an 11 with all black patent leather upper and a purple translucent bottom, which I'm sure they'll do eventually, then do that. But until then, if this is called Space Jam, a little bit of a Space Jam sprinkle here or there would be perfect. The midsole itself is still a rubber cup sole. They should make this Phylon. I was talking to some of our Discord community members because Pastor Mike just got the Jaw once, and he was saying, yes, the midsole very firm, but he liked it. It reminded him of a Jordan 1. To which I said, that's exactly the thing. Like if they would just make the Jordan 1 with a Phylon midsole, but still keep it kind of firm like that, it's still softer than rubber. So it would kill two birds with one stone, where it would be comfortable, but still look the same. And it's not changing really anything. You're just adding a little bit of spice to it. Now inside of this cup sole is a polyurethane wedge. Inside that wedge is a heel air sole unit. Again, if they change that to Phylon, maybe you'd be able to feel that a little bit, but until they do, it's just wedged in there and you're never gonna feel anything, but it is there. Now the insoles are these pieces of junk. It's just a very light, very open-celled Ortholite style insole. However, the insole graphics are pretty cool. It says Jumpman Jordan on there, much like the Air Jordan 11's tongue tag, which I really like. I think this is really cool. Fun fact, these are actually the outsoles of the kids versions. If you were ever to look at them, they do say this on each shoe. They say Jumpman and Jordan. It's super cute. I think it's really cool. Now the part that everybody's probably curious about, is the leather actually good? It's not horrible, but it's also not really good. It's still a Jordan 1 mid, so they're not throwing too much budget at it. But it is an SE, so it is slightly more elevated than the traditional Air Jordan 1 mids that don't have that SE labeling. So the black leather, well, it's all black, but the actual leather, not the patent stuff, it's kind of leather, but it's not 100% leather, and it definitely feels like pleather, but it's got a really cool look to it. Like the polyurethane coat has a really nice texture to most of the material. The midfoot panel, though, has a very smooth finish. So like the toe box and then this ankle collar area has kind of like a texture to it, whereas the mid panel does not. And then the patent leather is actual leather, but it's also very thin cuts, also very cheap looking. And I'm not saying like the patent leather's cheap looking. I'm just saying looking at the cut, like how thick or thin the material is, that part is cheap, meaning that it did not cost the brand a lot. That's all. I'm not saying like these are cheap looking, they look cool. So do these guys actually earn the moniker of SE like some of the previous Jordan 1 low SEs or Jordan 1 mid SEs? these, I would say it's okay. I think they're really like pushing home the whole like Air Jordan 11 theme on these things. So I think that's what most people are probably liking these for, and less about like, oh, is there actually good materials on there? Probably not. You can get the suede versions or whatever. They're a little bit better if we're comparing. You know, I swear that they've done this before lots of times. I swear, I'm looking. It's the Air Jordan 1 Retro 95. That's what they were. They were the Retro series, Air Jordan 1 Retro, and then place the date of whatever those shoes came out. The Concords, they boo-boo, but they did it. The black and reds, also boo-boo. They did the whole upper in Cordura mesh and just the toe patent. Yeah. Man, they are just retreading the same old. It's like they're only a retro brand and not the performance brand of excellence like they used to be. It's so sad. Now, one thing that's definitely different from an Air Jordan 1 mid to an Air Jordan 1 high OG or even the 85 cuts and also the lows is actually the tongue. These guys right here, they do feature a primarily nylon front and everything like that, but they're backed by like a different material. The padding's a little bit different. It's a little thinner and it's a little stiffer. They are also heavily stitched. I don't know what this is all about. Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand what they're thinking, which is once your laces are in there, these little folds are gonna conform to your foot shape a little bit better than if they were just like a stiff, cheap piece of foam. But if they would just do the regular nylon tongue, it would do the same thing without all that. They also have a different logo at the top. Obviously, there's no Nike Air tag and everything. This is just a Jumpman branded shoe. So the Jumpman is stitched directly on there. Sometimes they are actually on a tab. This time is not. I wonder if that's maybe the old mids. Some of the old mids had the big old like tab right there with the Jumpman and then the Air underneath it. And now they're just doing a simple logo on the tongue, even though the Air Jordan 11 does not have a logo on the tongue, but some of these samples did. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that's exactly what I would order. I have seen these periodically in stores. I've also seen the lows. We are not going to review the lows. We're just doing these. They should be the same thing, just a low cut and obviously white instead of black and black, or white and black instead of black on black, whatever. Same exact stuff though. They have the same exact insoles, the graphics and everything. So again, same exact stuff. That's where they like really did, you know, save budget, because that shoe uses the same exact color as these. So like the stitching, this, like the purple is all on both of them because the Concords actually are Concord purple. These are Concord 2. They're called the Space Jams, but it's more after the most recent version of the Space Jam with the 45 on the back, which is more like a PE that he wore in the playoffs because he got fined for wearing the Concords and stuff like that. You can check out all that information though in that video, which is from like 2016. So it's probably not as good as today's videos. Just warning you. But with all that being said, let us know what you think about these down below in the comment section. Is this a hit or is this a miss? Do you remember the Air Jordan 1, I don't know what to call them, the numbered series, where, you know, the yeared series, where they mashed them up with the signature model that released that year, like the Air Jordan 11 in 95, or the Air Jordan 14 in 99, the Air Jordan 4 in 89, all that kind of good stuff. There was a slew of those things. Do you guys even remember those? Were you sneakerheads back then, or are you new to the party? Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you were interested in grabbing this pair right here, we will be giving them away in our Discord community. There's a link down below in the description box where you can head over to WearTesters.com and sign up. And with all that being said, we will catch you on the next one. So until then, have a good one. How do they do this? Sometimes they're really easy, sometimes they're not.
Maybe you need to woo her.
I'm not wooing anyone that I throw $100+ at. Okay, that was the woo.
You just need to tell her some sweet nothings.
These cost me over $100. That's the sweet nothing. What do y'all want from us?
A back massage?
No, then you're gonna have to pay me. There's professionals that do that. Their name's not Chris. Okay, I sniff shoes and I do weird shit online. That's it. Not super weird.
Thank you for my outro.
I'm not an OnlyFans person, even though I probably would make way more money, but still.